Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me, Jack, in this very first Panelspiel talk of the first Panelspiel weekend. Um, it's been a journey, and we're here. We've made it.
It has been a journey, a lot of it uphill.
Yes. And so we feel free to, we'll let you know if you speak to us in chat on Twitch or if you are watching in the rebroadcast, or not the rebroadcast, but the broadcast page for the talk on the event website. You should be able to post there too, and we will see it just like if you were on the Twitch website. Hello, Daria. We'll see Daria in a little bit too, hosting, I believe, the next one in our session. So, um, yes, like we want to start to early on showing you that this is only the first half of what's going on, what we're doing here on Twitch. This is the in some ways it's the preview. It's going to be a hour-long talk to give you all the info you need and that can be shared later, but afterwards we're going to be available to talk live inside Discord, and each one of our speaker talks are going to be like that. So it's great if you're watching now on Twitch and you do not have access to the event website. If I said that and you thought, I don't know what that means, this is what it means. If you get registered for that, you'll be able to come backstage in the panel spiel areas of Protospiel Online Discord. If you have come to another Protospiel Online, or another event that we've run, which all of them have been playtesting conventions up until this weekend, you may be in our Discord, but that doesn't mean that you have access to Panelspiel until you register for it and pair your Discord user with your registration for it. It's a private area inside our server, special limited time. All right.
And that's not just for Q&As. We've also got some social activities, some roundtables that are happening just there. And the pass is free.
That's correct. And we also have our wall of fame here. This is one of the places we're showing it to you. This is the people who, in signing up for a badge, chose support or a patron badge. Patron badges don't give you any different access to all of the information and activity, but they do give you a thank you here, and they make your color different in Discord, so you stand out a little bit among our attendees in the member list of Discord server.
And patron badges get a discount on the next upcoming Protospiel.
That's correct.
Protospiel Online.
Yeah, yes. Protospiel, for those not in the know, Protospiel is a network of different conventions, and Protospiel Online is one of many. They generally are Protospiel location. Online is our location. Other ones are Michigan, just closed up last weekend. Indy, where Jack lives, and they do that in the spring. So it'll be a while before they're doing another one. Chicago and Madison are coming up in September and November. So those are all regional events, but online lets us do. Everybody can reach us online. Yeah. GM Joe Kell thinks this is going to be a cool event. We're going to have Joe later as well, hosting one of these talks. Oh, I think, you know what? I think Daria is tomorrow's second talk, or tomorrow's first talk, and Joe is coming up after us in about 3 hours. Yeah. Joe is not a plant, not at all. Joe is also part of our community who we love goofing around with and playing with. Yes. Okay. Are we ready to go to slides, Jack?
Yeah,
Anything
let's
else we
do it.
need to say here? Okay. Sweet.
I'm sure we'll think of things.
Yep.
All right. Welcome to Panelspiel Online. This is the first event of this name, and the goal is really just to pull together a lot of great information and share it with the community. Heather and I right now are kind of the chief organizers of this event. So this is just kind of an introduction to what we're planning on doing kind of in the future, what we're doing this event this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about some of the things that are going on, how they work, etc. And then this, like a lot of our other panels, will be available as replays so people can check it out. They can see what we're doing. They can see how all of this works. So, what is Panelspiel Online? I'm probably going to do that all weekend, but here we go. Um, so, it's a 2-day virtual conference. Focused primarily on building the knowledge base for the tabletop games industry and community. This weekend we have 6 panels planned, which we'll get into what those panels are. Those are available on Twitch. You can watch them right now. This is one of the options. You don't need any special access to do that. And then on Discord, we have post panel Q and A's. We've got some roundtables where everybody can kind of discuss and share on a variety of topics. We've got some breakout rooms to kind of dig in on specific topics if people want to work on those. We've got some social activities and something called BGA LFG, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Discord access, we'll get into how you get it, but it is a free pass. So you'll just need to basically sign up through our website. Um, uh, the panels that we are broadcasting on Twitch are going to be available on YouTube later. Again, the goal is to create this knowledge base and build up more information for the tabletop games community and industry. And this is everything from the design level, play testing, how to make better games, all the way up to you're manufacturing your game. How do you do it? How much does it cost? What are the real world consequences of the decisions you make? And everything in between. Even our last panel of this panel spiel is going to be on building your social media following. So, all tiers of the work that you're doing within the tabletop space. We're also going to have some additional support materials we'll be sending out to everybody that signs up, and then some fun prizes, giveaways, again, social activities, that sort of thing.
The prizes for Panelspiel are the same prizes as for Protospiel. So Panelspiel is also sort of like a Protospiel preview in
Hmm.
a way. It's to help. It also helps you get ready for Protospiel Online. If you've never attended, you'll learn what it's like to be on our server, and some of the activities are there. Though it's not the same as Protospiel Online, it gives you some practice for something similar to what we do during that
Hmm.
weekend.
Yeah. So, Heather, who are you?
Hello, I am the lead organizer of Protospiel Online, the person who is the super admin in that Discord server and makes everything work there. I've been running Protospiel Online since 2020. We did an invitational event in April of 2020 that was small and private. And then we launched publicly in July of 2020. So this is our 5 year anniversary that we're celebrating. Actually, it was this very day, 5 years ago, that we did our first open to the public Protospiel Online.
Very good timing.
Mhm.
And I'm Jack Rosetree. I've been doing things in the tabletop space for quite a while. A little bit of everything: retail, e-commerce, game design, professional play testing, development, marketing. I've self-published a couple of small titles. I've worked in the role-playing game space. I've done a little bit of everything. So I'm kind of the coordinator for Panel Spiel. I'm the one that's pulling a lot of the front end stuff together, while Heather's pulling together the back end stuff. But this is a collaborative effort between both of us. Essentially, Heather said, "Hey, this is something that I've really been thinking about," and I said, "Hey, I've got a lot of free time right now. Let's make it happen." And that's how this whole thing came together. So why are we doing this? Heather, why are we panel spieling?
Well, it talking at Protospiel Online is part of what's great about it, being able to talk to people who have been before you in doing different things and freely ask questions. But it's never what's marketed as the forefront of Protospiel Online. It happens interstitially if you happen upon somebody in coffee talk, but it's not organized and focused upon to help us, find the exact kind of thing we want to talk about in advance, right? So we get also a lot of requests from our sponsors and just people in the industry who know that our community exists and it's a place that board game designers want to go to learn, and they want to be able to share knowledge and help them learn the ropes of various things. But we used to run coffee talk topics for about 2 years. In the middle of that 5-year run, we were organizing just a couple of hours in during Panelspiel Online, where someone we'd have a special guest and coffee talk, and we found that that really broke the flow of the event, which is about focusing on playtesting, and also it's about trading playtests. So giving other people your playtest time and getting it from the group. And so if you try to fit in going to a talk that you feel like you're missing out on too, if you don't go to it, like this is a one-time opportunity. And it was a push and pull of like, we didn't want to make too big of a deal of it. We let it be come and go. It doesn't start at a specific time. You can leave and come anytime you want to, but it still caused stress for people and angst in that like they needed that time to either get their game on the table or give back to the community after they had gotten play tests. So I've been turning down requests to do coffee topics since we stopped doing them, since we found that they didn't really work for the Protospiel format. And but I want them to be able to help our audience, and so we needed a separate time to do it. And Panelspiel gives us a focus, like a big focus time to do it, instead of just
Mhm.
a single workshop that we have to one off prepare and do on some Thursday night where maybe we market it for 2 weeks and that's the only thing that's going on. This is a way to pull us all together and make a big push so that everybody can show up and share the peer knowledge as well as the pro knowledge at Panelspiel.
Yeah, and that's there was a real opportunity cost that came with sitting in on those versus like play testing, and that's one of the reasons that this event we don't have any overlapping anything. If a panel is going on, that is the only thing going on for panel spiel. If a roundtable is going on, that's the only thing going on. So it does two things. One is you never have to make a decision between which thing you want to go participate in, and two, it means that there will be times when there are things that you're not interested in or that you're not that doesn't speak to you, and that's a time to step away, go get some lunch, actually get some sleep. um, these things will be available later. We don't want this to be a high impact, high intensity, high anxiety weekend event. We have stuff that's kind of scheduled throughout, but there will be blocks of time when you can take a take a back seat, take a
Mm.
rest. You know, we really want that to be part of it. And I've attended events where there's been 3 panels going on at once, and I'm like, can I watch all of these at once? And it's not
Technically, the
great
answer
for the
was
brain,
yes, but
right? But that's a lot of what we've been building. Yes, relax spiel. um,
um, the things that are on Twitch are all going to be available as replay, but nothing that happens inside the Discord will be available as a replay because that is a private space where we don't
mhm,
want to record our audience members' voices and things like that. So the roundtables are only in the Discord and they won't be recorded. They don't have guest speakers. The attendees of Panel Spiel are the speakers at the roundtables, um, and those are though you have to come to them live to get them.
mhm,
We are. This is the first time we're running this and we're testing some things. I think we're going to be pretty staunch that we're not going to record people's voices in our Discord server,
mhm.
but we may do some things to record insights and takeaways. We're looking at that. We're going to be
Yeah,
testing doing that. I'm
yeah,
not going to promise that it's going to exist, but I'll say we're testing out the idea and we'll see
yeah.
if we can make
And
something
that would
good.
fall into like the support materials that we post afterwards. Like we may take some notes. But that's all stuff that we're trying to figure out because again, this is our first time running this. This is it's all new to us, and we're excited to see where it goes. And so part of that is if you have feedback, we're happy to hear it. All right. Let's So how do you attend? Again, all the panels are going to be on Twitch. So if you just want to watch the panels and that's it, that's totally fine. We're excited to have you. You can still participate in the Twitch chat. We will be keeping an eye on that. So there's the possibility that we may be able to answer those depending on time if you have questions. And if you're watching this right now, you're already there. I believe you can subscribe to the channel. You can ding the notification bell. You can tell it to send you emails
Mhm.
when we go live so that you don't miss anything. Um, and then beyond that, within the Discord side of things, there is a pass system that you have to engage with. It's part of how we make sure that you get all of the flags appropriate so that you can see the stuff that you're supposed to see. The website for that is protospiel dot online /panelspiel. That is on screen if you need to see how it's all spelled. Um, the
I
free
can put it in
pass
the
just
chat
gives
too.
you access to everything. And then we have a patron pass, which is $30. And that's basically your way of showing some support for what we're doing, kind of helping us make sure that we can do this in the future, making sure that we can pay the moderators that we're bringing into this thing. And then in return for that, you're included in the Wall of Fame. You'll get a unique Discord community icon and I believe a color for your name.
That's correct.
Um, and then you'll also get $15 off the August 2025 Protospiel Online badge. So if you're already planning on participating in that, your patron pass is effectively like 15 bucks, which I would argue we're providing you $15 worth of entertainment, if not information. But that will be up to the user to decide. Um, but that's how you'll participate in all of that. Once you're into the Discord, there again, we're going to talk about some of the things you'll be able to do, but that's where you're going to be able to see the post panel Q&As. You'll kind of get a chance to directly engage with the speakers for each of our events. That's where we're going to have some dedicated chat rooms. We're going to have the roundtables, which are a little more open forum discussions on a variety of topics. And that's also where we're going to have the BGA LFG uh, system, which will help people find and play games on Board Game Arena. If you're not familiar with that, again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's a system that uses some of the same stuff that we do for Protospiel Online when you're normally posting playtests, and we basically just apply that to, hey, we want to play games on Board Game Arena. So we're really excited to see how that goes. All right. Heather, would you like to talk about just kind of the general schedule?
Sure, sure. I think I'll go ahead and leave that link up. So that link remains for now. You can see it in the on screen. The place to go to get notifications about just these talks, or actually you'll be able to get notifications for the roundtables and the BGA flash mobs if you go to that link and register. If you follow us on Twitch, you're only going to get notifications directly from Twitch about these talks that you see here when they're actually live on Twitch. There is also we are saying 6 streams, and there will be 6 streams that are live, and then there's one that we did early that we're also rebroadcasting this evening.
Mhm.
That's not on this list, but we'll talk about it later. So the one that we're doing right now, getting everybody ready for what to expect. And then next we're going to have at 2 p.m. Eastern US time, we're going to have Jeff Grissom Gristhwaite
Grisenthwaite.
Grisenthwaite. Okay.
And I believe Jess in chat, he can correct us.
Yes. Yeah, we had this question, Jeff. It's a mouthful, and apparently it's been pronounced multiple different ways in your pitch videos. But I love it. Nailed it. Basically, the answer is whatever. I answered hey you. Um, but Jeff, who has it has recently become, I believe, a full-time game designer, and Colin Grissenwaite, with the emphasis on every syllable. Gris and wait. um, that's funny. So, and then Colin Willix will be joining Jeff, and they'll be looking at some real sell sheets that were shared in the BMG community And in some cases, the before and after, they got feedback from that community and talking about what makes a sell sheet work for what it's
Mhm.
designed to do. And that actually could be, I haven't, they've prepared their presentation. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I don't know exactly what they'll say, but I will say from the sell sheet posting that we have in Protospiel Online, there are really two different reasons one might make a sell sheet. Some people are looking to self-publish, and some people are looking to pitch to a publisher. And there's different things you want to include on the sell sheet if you're depending on your audience. If you're talking to the board game market or somebody who you're going to work partner with to make the game. Designing across borders is from our Protospiel Online longtime sponsor now,
I'm gonna
Panda.
move the slides forward because we're talking a
Okay.
little bit more about these than I expected.
Okay.
So,
This is, yeah. So this is the one
this is the one,
that
practical
I was
sell
just talking
sheets.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and, uh, Jeff does a lot of sell sheets, and actually one thing that I'm excited for is, I believe he plans on sharing a template for sell sheets that people can use to help them kind of build out, all of the information that they want on there.
Hmm.
And then Colin is an actual graphic designer, so we'll have actual graphic design feedback, and information on things that you should do for your sell sheet. And then yeah, all of they've got real world sell sheets that people have shared, that they're going to be talking about. So really excited for this one.
Okay. Then on to the one that I started talking about. And maybe we should just both talk about each one.
Hmm.
Um, but this one is from our friends at Panda Manufacturing. I've done a call with Jay Bell before that you can find on our Twitch and YouTube where we're talking about the toolkit that you can win as a prize from Protospiel Online, sponsored by Panda. So that shows all the different kinds of parts and pieces that they make. So that's something else that we've done with them. But they also want to share. They want more chances to share up to the date what's going on in the industry and with manufacturing, and keep talking to you. So we very much appreciate their partnership over the last year or two. I can't remember exactly when they joined, but and we're going to have somebody new with us, Clark Bender, and we're going to get to meet him later today too, who's a
Yeah.
project manager with them.
And I believe something they're going to talk about a little bit here is how the components that build your game actually impact, like, not just the manufacturing costs but the shipping costs, the weight, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because I've played a lot of games in the prototype phase, and someone's like, it doesn't matter if my game has 200, 200 chits, because that's really only 4 boards worth of chits. And it's like, yes, but that actually has a lot more impact than I think people necessarily realize. Um, and so I think they're really going to talk about, what it means when you have different sheets, different cut styles, the difference between, uh, uh, I'm, I'm 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 losing the word for it, but unique, specific components versus like just being able to throw in meeples, that
Custom.
custom components.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm really excited to see this one. They're also like I think in the Q&A session, it'll be a really great opportunity to ask very specific questions about, um, what your particular manufacturing issues might be. So that would be a really good one if you're looking at self-publishing, or if you're at that stage where you're trying to figure out what the manufacturing cost would be for your game.
And this
All
one
right.
is the first one tomorrow,
Mhm.
for US time anyway, uh, on being a quality playtester from two of our very experienced playtesters in the Protospiel Online community, Jonathan Chaffer and Caitlin Green. Um, Jonathan is one of the people I met the very first time that I went to Protospiel in 2016 in Michigan, and uh, is very skilled at pointing out things that are not working in a kind and constructive way. I've I we I called him out and asked him to be one of the
Mhm.
speakers on this because he comes to mind first for me when I think of people who, when they're in a play test, the designer likely goes away with some actionable notes and without feeling decimated feeling
Mhm.
encouraged.
Yeah, and then I wanted Caitlin because Caitlin's the opposite side of that, where I've been in playtests that Caitlin has run, and I feel like Caitlin steps in and pulls the information directly out of my brain that she needs. She does just a phenomenal job of kind of like making sure that I am providing the feedback that she needs for the game in question. Um, she asks incredibly like good questions. She does a great job of positioning like this is where the game is at. This is the type of feedback that I want with this playtest. It's like the military march approach to getting a playtester to give feedback. And so like I think the two of them is going to be really great to see how they bounce off of each other. Where they might disagree might be very, very interesting. So really looking forward to that one. Another reason that we really wanted this specifically to be one of our lead panels for our first panel spiel is that there's a lot of sense at protospiel that like, oh, like I need to bring a game or I'm not getting the most out of my
Mhm.
protospiel. Being a play tester is super, super valuable, and every game designer on the planet highly, highly values people that just show up to play test. There's a lot that we can get out of it. It doesn't matter what stage of your game design journey you're on. I've shown up to Protospiel a few times only as a playtester because I'm just not at that stage where I'm playtesting anything or I don't have the spoons to like run stuff. And so I really like, for me it's important to like get across the point of like you don't have to have a game to show up to Protospiel. It's an incredibly fun experience, and just getting feedback from people across a wide range of the design space is fantastic. And so that's something I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, and giving feedback can, if you are looking to be a designer, giving feedback and seeing how other people give feedback, is a good way to get ready for
Mhm.
playtesting your game when you are ready. This is our replay.
Yeah, so maybe a week and a half ago, we did kind of like a little early test. This was a panel with Zoe Allred, Jamie Sabriel, and Tanner Simmons discussing just what is digital playtesting at a very introductory level, why it's really, really beneficial, some of the pros and cons, um, what it does for the community, what it does for people as designers. So we'll be doing a replay of that broadcast. For timing reasons, none of the people in the panel are actually going to be here for that broadcast, but we're going to have a few people in the chat and participating in the Q&A afterwards. So particularly if you're new to digital playtesting, if you've never done it before, we will have people that will be happy to answer your questions, whether it's about just getting your game into these systems, or if it's just like, where do I go to do it? So that'll be a little fun. That's on the later side. That's going to be 10 p.m. Eastern time tonight. And then and that's just a flat replay of what we did earlier.
And then this is another one of our longtime sponsors, Kickstarter. And specifically, Nicole Amato has done a one of those coffee talks that I
Hmm.
mentioned, coffee topics that I mentioned, and it was the most popular one we've ever done. I was a little worried there wasn't going to be room for the next person to join the coffee talk voice channel if they want to, and something that is just true of Nicole is that their email address is open for anybody who's thinking about Kickstarter or just in the early thinking stages or getting close to putting up their preview page. And they said, I'm here even if you just need emotional support. I'm here. My email box is open, right? And that's generally true. But Protospiel gives Nicole a platform to help say that louder because people are shy when it's a
Hmm.
big, important company like Kickstarter. But yes, Nicole gets it, gets the what's hard about it, the struggles, is totally rooting for all of those Kickstarter game makers. And yeah, I think when Kickstarter brought Nicole on, I was like, "Oh, I love Kickstarter now." They convinced me.
Yeah, Nicole comes from a game design background, so this was
Yeah,
not just like they hired, whoever. Like
right.
they got somebody that was within the industry who knows what it's like to publish, what it's like to build games. I've known Nicole for a very long time, and they've just done a fantastic job. I think they're going to be talking a little bit about some of the new tools that they're building that speak to the indie crowd specifically for
Mhm.
within the game space. And again, really great opportunity to participate in that Q&A, ask questions about what's going on, how do I do this? Is this a problem? Is this allowed? Whatever. So yeah.
And that one will be hosted more actively by Emily Vincent, who recently had a very successful Kickstarter for her launch of her business, Pink Hot Games. So she's going to be interviewing these
Mhm.
speakers, and Asher is the new head of games. I might be saying the title wrong, but uh, Nicole's cohort. I think actually Nicole's boss, the one right above Nicole, that is new to Kickstarter, and so it'll be great to meet him too. I haven't gotten to talk to him before, but he's coming kind of from the startup world and all
Mhm.
the tech and money of that, I'm sure.
All right. And then this is the last panel of the event this weekend. Ray Billings, who currently works at the Op Games and does like all of their social media stuff. Jillian Schumacher, who works at Brotherwise Games. They both do just incredible work in the social media space. We're talking millions upon millions of views across everything that they do. They're going to be talking about just kind of general, how do you build that following in social media? Um, if you make something that strikes really well, what do you do to make sure that you get value out of that, that you build actual growth, and that it's not just a single lightning strike and then everything goes away? Um, uh, this is, I think this is a really good thing for, we're in an industry where as indie developers we kind of have to be great at everything. We have to be our
Mhm.
own editors, we have to be our own marketers, we have to be our own manufacturers, and so this is a really great opportunity for people who just like haven't really had an introduction to that side of marketing. Social media marketing is its own thing. Some games have done just an incredible job of building support, um, either by doing live streams of their art being made, or doing quick little snippets of here's how the game works and why it's exciting. Some things just making memes out of your game. So they're going to talk a little bit about that, and then again, great Q&A opportunity to kind of ask some questions of people that are really in the social media trenches, working, posting stuff almost every day.
Yeah, I find social media marketing too. It Well, marketing online marketing is quite challenging because things change constantly. The platforms change constantly, the recommendations change constantly. Being actively using it is a huge, I think, requirement for being able to give advice in it. So it's awesome to have 2 people really actively using it to answer questions.
And then here's our roundtable schedule. We've got 4 roundtables happening this weekend, 2 today and 2 tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about those. So our first one, which is going to be noon today, is the digital prototype show and tell. This is just an opportunity if you have something cool you want to show, a game you're working on. Um, this is just a chance to be like, hey, this is what I'm working on, and maybe it strikes some ideas, maybe it doesn't, whatnot. um I have a really silly thing that I did in screen top that I'm very proud of. It's completely pointless and unnecessary, but I love that I did it and I can't wait to show it off. So I'm looking forward to this
So
one.
this is not It's Complicated. This is something else that's
Actually,
new.
it's something I did in It's Too Complicated.
Okay. Okay.
But it's a single component that I just want to show off because it would not work in any other place but screen top in this particular use case.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
and this will be a great way too to get a feel for, even if you don't really have anything that you think is super fancy about your build, uh being able to just show people the difference. Like, if you have something built in Tabletop
mhm,
Playground, for example, to give people an idea of what that looks like if they haven't gotten to experience it yet, that will be of value, so definitely come and bring it. Or even just tricks of, like, how I got this container to work well in
mhm,
Screen Top. You can show things that seem simple to you, like, everybody knows this, this is one of the things that happens at Protospiel Online. So this roundtable is to mock up for just an hour what happens all weekend at Protospiel Online, where people sit down to a playtest and they're kind of new to digital playtesting, and they're like, "Oh, how do you use the controls for this? Oh, how did you do that? How? Oh, you can do that, you know." And this is a chance to say, "Oh, you can do that." Yes. So definitely bring your stuff even if you've shown it lots of times and you don't
yeah.
even have any questions.
It's
Yeah.
also just a great opportunity to kind of test your elevator pitch for whatever
Mhm.
game you're working on. Be like, this
Yeah.
is why my game is different and interesting. And that's always a great opportunity. And you're doing it to other designers. So you might get a little feedback that's like, hey, this is actually the thing I'm really excited about for your game. Um, don't worry about the other stuff. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, it's going to be just kind of like a loosey goosey. Each person's going to get like 2 to 3 minutes to share what they have to share, and then we'll move to the next person. And then later in the day, um, let's share and celebrate our failures at 4 p.m. Eastern time. This is something I just stole from the Game Developers Conference. They do a failures workshop where they invite a couple people who have had just catastrophically bad game launches, or they got into the weeds in their game design and just never got out. And it's some of my favorite talks because you like I was on the building the game podcast a while ago talking about failure, and failure is spectacular and unique every time. Success only happens one way, and that's not exactly true, but it definitely, failure can teach you a lot. And so I'm excited to hear how other people have made mistakes or things that they've done. um, Certainly I've got a few that I'm happy to share. But this is, again, just kind of an open conversation. Everybody will have a chance to talk about what they've done. It can be, you know I signed up to co-design with somebody that I didn't know very well, and it turned out we had completely different games that we were planning on making.
Mhm.
All the way to, I it turns out that shipping on this product was $20 a copy.
Mhm. Mhm. Awesome. Yes. Yeah, and I second all of that.
Mhm,
It's important and not to be tied up in your failures and feeling shame about them, like
mhm,
bringing things into the open and saying that they happened and having other people validate, like, "Yeah, you're human, you know?
yeah.
I'm
and
sorry that
and
happened to you, but
And
moving
we
on."
we may mention solutions, but this is not a "let's solve your problems"
Right.
moment. This is a, "Hey, this happened." You
Mhm.
might have, you know, in hindsight, some solutions that you can share, or some things like, "This is how I could have avoided this." But the
Mhm.
goal is not for other people to provide you feedback and say, "Well, here's how you could have fixed it."
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
goal is, we're going to share our failures, we're going to enjoy ourselves. We're just going to take some time and share the knowledge builds. And then we've got live prototype problem solving. This is kind of the other side of that, where we're going to have people bring issues that they're having, and then we're just kind of open forum discuss, like, if there's any way to solve that. This is, again, we're going to see how this goes. I, for instance, have a prototype that I've built physically that I have no way of building in a digital space.
Mhm.
um, and so, like, discussing, like, how could this be built in a digital space, how could this work, um, without me having to have programming knowledge, which right now feels like I need for that particular problem solving situation.
Mhm.
um, And I think this one was more Heather's idea than it was mine.
Oh, I know that people, um, yeah, freely being able to share knowledge. It can be very hard to share this kind of stuff, I think, via text, at least for me.
Mhm,
When I hear a big complicated problem or I see that somebody's posted a big complicated problem, I usually don't have time to process it and think of an answer. Um, I might do it sometimes, but I'm less likely to do it than if I'm talking live with somebody. And so making some space to talk live about the problems we're trying to unpack. I'm not going to be able to answer questions about how, like, very specifically how to build your
mhm,
prototype, but I can tell you, oh, as a playtester, I've seen somebody do this, or this general program has this capability, and I could point you in the right direction there. Um, so yeah, I'm sure I'm going to participate in all the roundtables, by the way. I'll just be there, but not taking up the whole floor, just
mhm.
interjecting.
Alright, and then excuse me, why play testing broken stuff is fun. This is another one that's a little bit community driven. A little like Heather came forward immediately, like as soon as we started talking roundtables, and was like, "I want this."
Again, to normalize, things don't need to be perfect. Uh, this is the point of playtesting. I think a lot of people get really nervous about playtesting because they
Mhm,
think they're going to be judged if their game doesn't work or falls apart. They don't want people to be mad at them. They're thinking of the general world when they're when they're considering bringing this. They're thinking about their family and friends, maybe their snarky friend who would give them crap about it if the game didn't work. At Protospiel Online and Protospiel Network in general, it's a group of people who are interested in solving problems. They're glad you brought your broken
mhm,
game because it's exciting to them. It's actually exciting to see your broken game. It's not like, "Oh, good, we can pick you apart." And if somebody does give you a lot of feedback at Protospiel Online, this is maybe also a chance to kind of put that out on the table that it's unlikely they're doing it to be the smartest one in the room and, like, show off how smart they are. Our culture at Protospiel is much more along the lines of, I just get excited. I just think
yeah,
it's super
yeah.
fun to think
If
about these things, you know?
if I give you a lot of feedback, it's because I really like what you're
Yes.
doing. It's because I'm really excited for like the direction that thing can go. And so we've had a few play tests where somebody's like, I made this weird component. It's a circle with meeples on it, and you throw meeples at it to knock other meeples off or whatever. And let's just go in and let's do that for like 2 rounds and then discuss how that might turn into a real game. Um,
Mhm.
I have a
Yes.
similar thing. I made a reverse poker deck, which instead of having 13 values and 4 suits, it had 13 suits and 4 values. And then I just sat in a room and was like, what can we do with this thing? Turns out it's a terrible idea. That can be one of my failures for the failure workshop. Um,
But now you
but
know. That's what a
right,
test
right.
is. Yeah.
But there is a kind of play test you can do, which is we're not here to actually play a game or to test necessarily a clear narrative or mechanical arc. We are here to move some pieces around and then discuss how it made me feel. And
Mhm.
that is totally okay. All right. Um, I'm going to let Heather talk about the BGA flash mobs because um, it's a complicated program that is running to make everything run very easily, but I don't know how to talk about it.
Alright. Yeah, and I suppose I haven't it's visually easier to explain, I suppose. This
Hmm.
is part of why it's gonna be part of Panelspiel Online is that similarly to looking for a game, LFG voice, looking for a game posting in Protospiel Online's Discord server. Once you do it, once you're in the channel live and the moderator says, "Look here, do that," you say, "Oh, that makes sense," and you do it. And it lets things run really smoothly, and it's what we use to make the freeform no schedule playtesting work. There's
Hmm.
always a moderator in Protospiel Online looking for a game. When you drop in, you can ask them kind of how it's going. Like, is there something looking right now? Is it a good time for you to post? They'll encourage you to, like, this also is an opportunity to pitch your game at Protospiel Online. So this is modeled after that to give people a taste of what it would be like, even though without having to prepare a prototype, without the high pressure that I hear people giving me feedback they feel about the deadline of Protospiel Online. Panelspiel Online, there's nothing for you, the audience, to prepare. You just come and experience some pieces of what it's like when we're together playtesting at Protospiel Online, but with no playtesting to make us feel pulled in multiple different
Mhm.
directions, like we were saying earlier. So BGA LFG actually is something that you could do anytime during the event. Like Jack said, there's no scheduled things that you have to kind of compete with each other. But BGA, unlike all the platforms that we use for Protospiel Online, it enforces rules, and it allows you to have, like, be pinged when it's your turn. So you can have it going on in the background while you're listening to a talk. You don't have to be voice to voice with people when you're playing with them. You probably need to be it's fun to be voice to voice with people
Mhm.
on playing on Board Game Arena. And if you're learning the game, you probably want to be talking to each other and getting clear. But like once you're a few rounds in, you can actually stop being on voice. You can leave voice but still finish your game. So yes, you'll be able to go. The flash mob is, though, the 6 hours of the event where it will be a lot like LFG in Protospiel Online, where there will be a mod to help do that. Click here, click here, go down there. You're playing the game. Awesome. If you are having trouble reading the instructions and understanding how to do it.
Mhm.
But high level, and I can't give you the instructions off the top of my head unless I look at it. So I will look at it off to the side here
Yeah,
and
so,
tell you what
we
to do. You
yeah, so
join
part of,
BGA LFG Voice to show people that, like, your name will show up under that. You can join that even if there's not a moderator in it, but at the flash mob times, it'll be easier to find because there'll be a host, I should say, in there to help you. And then you will post in breakout text a slash command for play BGA, and it will ask you what's important for you to know about it. And then look at BGA LFG to see what people have posted, and decide if you want to join those, or you can post your own. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, and there will be like these are just times when there will be moderators. During the other times, you can still post things. Those of you that are familiar with Protospiel Online, it's actually a little easier than posting a prototype playtest because it can all be done within Discord.
Yep.
So we're excited to test the waters with this system. I think it will clean up quite a lot. And then once you know how to do it, you could potentially be playing Board Game Arena with other game designers in the Protospiel Online community all weekend. Um,
Right.
so we're excited to see who can take the ball and run with that. Um, but these are the times when we kind of want everybody to show up, play a game or two, really like lean into that community side, the social side of just us all hanging out and chit chatting,
Mhm.
learning new games. You
And
know, at,
if you've never played with BGA before, it's a good time to get your account set up and learn how it works. And if you think of the digital playtest time tax, BGA actually often is faster to play than a physical board game instead of longer to play, like the ones that don't enforce the rules, because it just does all the accounting for you. So some you might be able to play a game faster than you think, once you learn how to use BGA.
mhm.
Sorry, go on, Jack.
um, yeah, that was pretty much it.
We have a work lurker.
hmm
Hello, Shay.
uh, all right,
And
Heather,
yep,
take us out.
that's it. Okay, so we're 10 minutes from the hour, so we're not gonna leave this live stream immediately. We're gonna leave this screen up for anybody who's not in the backstage and you're like hearing all of what you can do with BGA, LFG flash mobs, and the roundtables and the live Q and A's, all the things that you can't get on Twitch. If you want to get those things, this is how you do it, and it will take a few minutes. So make sure to do it right now, not at the hour when we start the Q&A, but get started right now because our bot needs a little time to think. So you might think that you haven't paired with Discord, but if you give it about 3 minutes, you're actually paired with Discord. It just needs some time to think. All right. So first of all, get your free pass on the website. That protospiel.online/panelspiel will take you right there. You will get an email that tells you you're in, and it has these instructions for Discord too. If you're not looking at this screen when that happens, you could follow those instructions. But long and short of it is, it gives you this link, protospiel.online/panelspiel Discord. Uh, that's the form that will allow you to pair your account and the thing that you need to submit, and then wait up to 3 or so minutes, and then you'll get a welcome message in our from our server in your DMs and Discord that helps give you like the cliff notes of top places to go and look.
Mhm.
But if you're joining right now, verbally, I can tell you the place to go and look is the backstage channel, which is a stage channel where you will be muted by default when you join, but you can raise your hand to be brought on stage with us, and we can answer your questions and talk about how the weekend is going. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you think that it would be a good time to like read the names on the Wall of Fame just in case people are only listening and not looking?
sure. How about you start at the beginning and I start at the end and we read them at the same time? That won't be distracting at all.
We'll find 6 different ways to do it and do
Right.
it a different way during each have yeah, the speakers do it different way each stream. Um, I can read them this
All right,
time.
go for it.
Okay, so these again are people who have when they were in the process of getting their free badge, they decided to either upgrade to a patron pass, or they added support, which is flexible. You know, you can add as much support as you want to get the ability to see the surprise in Discord. If you add support, you'll get an email that explains to you how to unlock surprise. So look for that email if you choose to add support. So
And we
these
will
people
say
did.
thank you multiple times.
Yep, yep. Yes, exactly. And so this list of people has done one or the other or both. Andy D, Aura Volcano, Greg Poole, Jason Katzwinkle, Joe Kell, Matthew Hawker, Joe P., Nathan Fullerton, Nick Silver, Patrick Kiefer, Renee Pickett, Shanti Pathapragada, Tony Henk, I think, Henke maybe, Vicky Langer, and Zoe Allred. So thank you, all of
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
And if I'm going to keep an eye on new passes, and if I get more supporters and patrons, I can swap out this image
Mhm.
um, over the weekend. I'm going to try to keep an eye on it, but please be patient with me. It might not be until tomorrow morning if we're very busy with everything we need to do.
And thank you for everybody that joined us in Twitch chat.
Yes, it's good to have you with us. We're looking forward to talking to you more all weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye.